Okay, guys, I'm going to go over some of this review with you. This is my first step. You really need to look at these study science questions number 1 and 2. If you can answer them all, you're in good shape in understanding photosynthesis. Also, you need to be able to write by yourself the photosynthesis equation, making sure all the letters are the right size. Where it says compounds needed, don't get that confused with items needed. Your compounds are your carbon dioxide and your water. Remember that carbon comes from the carbon dioxide and the plant gets hydrogen from the water. The gas that is given off is oxygen. The plant must be green and it must get sunlight. Now, on the study molecule worksheet 1 and 2, you're going to have one problem like this on the test, but this one problem is worth 5 X's. So, let's review how to do that. If it says how many molecules, here is your molecule number in front, the large number in front. It says how many oxygen atoms. If you need to, draw the line and put the multiplication sign. 2 times 4 is 8 oxygen atoms. Hydrogen, 2 times 2 is 4 hydrogen. And when nothing's there, it means 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. With elements, you count the large letters, the capital letters. H is 1, S is 2, and O is 3. So that has 3 elements. Now, let's look at the next part where it says mitosis study guide. I've just given you a quiz on this. I'm going to have to walk around and move this down from the computer, so give me a second. Anyway, I just gave you a quiz on that. Folks, right there are like 10 questions on the exam, 10 of them. Remember, in the beginning, with your nucleus, nucleolus, those 2 things have to get out of the way so the chromosomes can do their thing. You never see the chromosomes until the cell is dividing. So one of the questions on the test is, when do you see the chromosomes? You're only going to see them when mitosis is going on. Another big thing you need to remember, mitosis is nuclear division, where cytokinesis is the division of the cytoplasm. Sorry, guys. And you also have mitosis worksheet 1 and 2 you can practice with. Now, on the 8th study guide, yes, you've got to know right there is how many questions? 8, 9, 10, 11 questions off of that. You just got to memorize it. I can't force you. You've got to remember and study these things. This is just like the quiz I gave you. Now, one part of the test is going to have to be where you write things down. There's no ABC. And this is one of the parts, is Roman numeral number 9. It says, know the experiments with, and one of the questions I will say, what happened when we put electricity to water in the lab? And you will have to tell me that there's twice as much hydrogen as oxygen, because in water there are 2 atoms of hydrogen to every 1 atom of oxygen. You've got to be able to write that. You don't have to write it in my words, but I've got to be able to understand it. Also, that iodine, if you drop iodine on something, it turns blue-black. It tells you starch is present. And then a match will burn in oxygen and a flame goes out in carbon dioxide. Also, you need to know that nitrogen is the main element of the atom, because a lot of people think oxygen is the main element, and it's not. I'm going to skip down to number 11, Roman numeral 11, then I'll come back up to 10. Number 11, a lot of people mess this up. You have got to write these in your own words. You've got, I don't care, you can memorize my words, but you've got to be able to write them. they're worth like 2x's. So if you just sort of give me some of the information, I'm going to give you some of the credit. A carbohydrate is any substance that contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. You can give me examples: sugar, starch, pasta, bread. An element is made up of one kind of atom that cannot be chemically broken down. You must be able to write the element correctly. Don't give me any of this, okay? Or any of this. You know how I want it written. Also, a compound is made up of 2 or more elements. Some of you were telling me it's made up of 2 or more atoms, which atoms make up elements, but you probably have to say different atoms. Anyway, I like elements. Let's go with that, guys. And give me an example. Now, as far as the paragraph is going, you don't have to write an essay, but when I ask you to give me something about losing the green, how photosynthesis is important to humans, why it's important, how does it play out, you need to, I can't imagine you writing that without telling me about the stoma, or the summer day shortening, the cork ring. I can't imagine you getting through all of this without telling me that green plants are important to the life cycle, because we breathe it out, they breathe it in. Probably that's important, how the plant uses the carbon dioxide in the water, and they give us back the sugar and oxygen. You might want to reread "You're Losing the Green." You also might want to reread that paragraph we wrote together. Okay, guys, that'll be the first step in looking at the study guide, understanding what to study. There'll be another one coming up too. Bye, guys. Oh, it's still recording. All right, I gotta go turn it off, I guess. Okay, turn it off from that direction. Hold on.